I'm probably more on the loud black woman's side. Probably. And I'm okay with that.
I mean,
because I would rather not have someone walk all over me.
Right. I mean, closed mouths don't get fed. All right, welcome back to the Computer Quis channel. I am Quis, and today we're back with another episode of the My Tech Story interview series. I have Alaya here with me.
Hey, y'all.
Again, technically, because
yes, we did this before, but in person is much better.
Yeah, it's way better.
We have come to that conclusion.
Right. So we go back to like 9th grade, high school, so a pretty long time. But no, I appreciate you coming out here and like taking the time to do this again, because like we did literally do this. You were the first one I did, actually. So it's pretty cool.
If anything, this is evidence that people from SLA is doing some things.
For sure.
It's a lot of people where it's like, yeah, so we knew each other from high school.
Right. It's been multiple like this. So,
yeah.
No, it's pretty cool. Right, so we're just gonna get into it. So I want to start off with a little bit about you. You would think that by now I would like have this memorized.
About me.
Yeah.
And about what I do for work, right?
Yeah. So like your name, age, location. Well, before we get to the work stuff, name, age, location, hometown, race, ethnicity, a fun fact or fun facts, and then like interests outside of work or outside of like what you do.
So my name is Alaya, like we said already. I am 29. I am just a long list. My interests outside of work, I like to cook.
Mm-hmm. What else? Your location, your hometown.
Oh, my hometown is Philadelphia. Right now I reside in Delaware. So, but I'm in Philly often. I work in Philly. I'm based out of Philly. So, yeah. And are we getting into what I do for work now?
No.
My fault. I'm sorry.
So your interests outside of, I want to get to know like you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So like your interests outside of tech, you mentioned cooking, or outside of what you do. So like you mentioned cooking.
Yeah. I do like to cook, and I blossomed it into something more in like COVID and quarantine and everything by recording and being bored and feeling like I had to interact with people some way. So I started to just record what I was doing, and I got a little bit of traction behind it. And people still be like, girl, when you gonna start cooking again? But honestly, that was like a coping thing, like where it was like, we got to do something. Everybody's in the house. Yeah. You feel like you in a bubble. You barely want to go outside. So you just interact with people via social media. So that's what I was doing. I would like to develop that into something bigger, but just the time.
Right. That's usually
to do
what it
it
comes down to, yeah.
Is the thing. Like I might have to, if I really wanted to do it the way that I picture it in my brain, I might have to quit my job.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing because when I see people who do it for like for a living, they have like, you got a bunch of camera angles, they got all this setup, they got a nice studio, and the kitchen is nice. And
man, I'm overdoing it though. You could just start with like one kid, the same way you started, same way that you've been doing it.
But I'm also an overachiever, and you know this. So I can't just put out anything. Like I feel like I got a pass because we was in quarantine. It don't matter what the quality was like back then, but
no, it is a lot of competition, especially with like the food content.
You know, and once I see that, I'm like, okay, well I got to top that. What I got to do? You know, what I got to do to top that? Get a camera from the ceiling.
Yeah, it's the one boy. He be having it like slow motion and all that. He got like a whole color grade.
I've seen somebody where the camera will come into his hand and like they be
going crazy.
Oh my gosh. So it's next level, and I just feel like as marketing brain, I have to set myself apart from others.
Right.
And that's how you get your niche audience.
For sure.
Is figuring out, you know, like I hear this example all the time where it's like, oh, did it stop Rihanna from coming out with like a makeup line and everything? Because there's Maybelline, there's L'Oreal, but she got her shit, and you know, it's making a lot of money.
Right. So
yes, you can exist in this space where there are a bunch of different people doing the same thing, but how do you set yourself apart?
Right.
So that's the way my brain always works, and I got to figure out how to do that. And I don't do basic stuff. So,
so I mean, eventually I feel like, well, we're going to get into like where you see yourself going and everything, but you know, with stuff like this, I just kind of dabble in it and then just, but I get what you're saying. Like, if you're going to do it right.
Exactly.
So,
because that's even like, it's even something that I use in interviews all the time. Like, anything that I attach my name to is going to be great. So, mediocre is just not my thing, you know? So, again, I feel like I could get away with it in quarantine because everybody's on their phone, everybody's interacting with it, everybody's bored. You can't go out and party because everything's shut down. People barely going to work. If you lucky if you can work from home. So I think that is what gave me a pass, so to say, then. But now that everybody outside, now you got to bring it. Exactly. For sure.
Yeah, all right, we're going to touch back on that and see, you know, where you see that going.
Okay.
But anything else outside of, like, cooking and everything?
Cooking is my thing. I don't know if there's anything. There's things that I have tried before, like my mom tries to always, like, I learned crocheting with her, and it's her thing now. It's very much her thing. I can help if you need me. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I think my brain is often like, what's next? It's so overstimulated that I need something that it's like I can do in the kitchen. You here?
Yeah, that's true.
Clean this up, you know, and that works for my brain compared to something where it's like crochet. I love what the end result looks like, but
that process though.
It's just I have to meet my brain where it is, and sometimes it's moving a lot, so I need something that I can be. You know.
Yeah, food is solid. I could watch food videos all day. So like, I admire
especially again with how creative they're getting these days. Oh my gosh.
For sure.
I'll be sucked in. I'll be like, do it again.
All right, so we're gonna get into like what you actually do and stuff. So, what do you do? We're gonna start with that. What do you do for how long? And then like if you feel comfortable with salary range. You know, or like, you know, whatever
we got NDAs in place. So.
Yeah, no, if you can't, I haven't said my song yet. So,
but what do? I am a marketer at like mid to senior level marketing manager. I have been doing marketing. The good part about it is, and we're probably gonna get into this too, but the good part about being employed while you're in college is like you can kind of start your career even though you ain't graduated yet, because that's what I did.
I didn't know that. So
I started marketing. So I started marketing in the bridal industry.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I think I did.
And the good part about it is, you know, you get a good relationship with the owner, and you're like, well, I'm actually about to finish school. You mind if I, you know, we don't have a specific marketing person here. It's just the background of it is it's two sisters that own multiple locations across America. And I just talked to them. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm learning all these things in school. Let's see if we can use what I'm learning to maximize on marketing, and we can do some things and see how it affects revenue. So that was definitely a benefit. I know a lot of people.
All right, we had like a mini break just now.
Okay.
Right. You talking about?
I don't want my child to have to work during college.
Right.
At all. It was your mama did it, your mama's mama did it. You don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do realize the benefits that I've had working during college. Right. And one of those was being able to say, like, being able to, I already had a job with them, being able to sell myself extra, essentially, and say, I'm learning these things in school. Can we try them?
Right. No, that's tough.
So that, and then, so them trusting me there, and then also being able to actually use your skills that you're learning, that you may have learned yesterday or last week, in the wild. Applying knowledge is crazy. So that was cool. So I always get questions in like interviews for positions like, wait a minute, so you graduated this year, but you started marketing this year. Listen, I know my stuff, okay? Don't let none of the dates fool you. I had multiple jobs. I learned everything that I learned, and I applied it. So that's why I'm confident in the fact that I can do what I do and do it well. So that is my career. And
So how long you been at your current job?
It's only been a few months. So going on, well, we just hit 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty new.
So pretty recent, yes. It's a definite industry change for me. So I started my career in bridal. Then I went to the healthcare industry. Yeah, it's some gaps in there because of COVID.
Right.
Because like I was like, we got to figure out something out and make some money somewhere. So, but in marketing, it was bridal. Then it was the healthcare industry, and now I am in newspapers and publishing.
Okay.
So very different industries, and I think it's not on purpose to kind of switch industries like that. But I think because I'm so passionate about marketing in general, I'm like, well, let's go over here and let's try this. You know what I'm saying?
I think being able to try it, because what marketing really would go into like a medical, I mean, I guess like a pharmaceutical type thing maybe.
Well, no. So when I was working in healthcare, I was, and this is another great thing that I'm just like, even though there are a lot of adversities that I've been through, but when I look back, I'm like, wow, these are different experiences. So in the bridal industry, I was business to, anybody in marketing would know, business to B2C, business to consumer.
Okay.
And then...
So that's the goal there is to get the product to the person.
Yeah, market from the business to the consumer.
Okay.
Whoever is going to be purchasing or purchasing the product that the business provides.
Okay.
When I worked in healthcare, it was more so business to business. And that's usually B2B. So it's B2C and B2B. Now, the reason why it was B2B is because I was marketing to physicians.
All right, I see.
And technically, physicians represent their healthcare organization, right? And especially at that level, like that's not the case for everybody, but providers, physicians, nurses, they have these things where they have to get credits. And yes, you go to medical school. Yes, you get, whatever specialty, but medicine is changing every day. Yeah. So there's a certain amount of credits that you have to be able to continue your practice. So what I was marketing was those courses. Essentially, that was called CME, Continuing Medical Education. So it's just like seminars and things like that that could be 5 days or 7 days and things like that. And I was for some of the time, I was a one-man show. So it was concept to completion. Where are we going? Because it would be a lot of travel with it. Where are we going? Talk to the hotel. Figure out what we're going to eat for the 5 days that we're away. Oh my gosh! So that's why I had to leave.
So you just directly like going to these places and basically marketing to them in person.
Yes. So yes and no. So essentially, I had to build websites to be able to build like a landing page to market the actual course. Right. So saying how many credits the physician would get, letting them know what the objectives of the course would be, letting them know who the speakers would be, all of that, gathering all of that information, building brochures that would be sent out to physicians who have maybe visited our courses before, or to institutions so that's where the business to business come through. Building those connections with those institutions. So let's say, let me see an example. The last one that I did before I left there, we went to Costa Rica.
Oh shit.
We had a lot, like you got to look at the map and see where would it be convenient? Like, where should we really target doctors? Where would it be convenient for doctors to learn these types of things? Where is there a high class? So I was working in a radiology department. Where are there high class radiology departments elsewhere? Target those. Figure out who their administrators are. Giving them the brochures. I was doing everything. Again, building websites. I think that was probably the first time I started building a website. Yeah. So there was a lot to it. Also doing like hotel management, which I never thought I had to do. Figuring out like if we have a block of rooms for all of these doctors that are traveling here for our course, managing that, which to be honest I probably shouldn't have been doing as a marketer. Like, I'm not hotel management, right. I'm a marketer, but you know, when you have a job and they need something done and it's just you go ahead and get it done. So there was a lot to that. So essentially putting on this conference that would be either 5 to 7 days, and most of them would be abroad. So that was that. And then now I'm working in newspaper publishing and consumer marketing there. So my section of consumer marketing is subscriber acquisition. So everything that it takes to get some money from people who want the service.
No, it's tough though. I did something similar with like trying different contracts, and it was all coding stuff, but like different, you know, financial stuff. I did like medical type jobs and shit. So I could relate to trying different industries, and I feel like it's valuable when you get those different. Yeah,
you're like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, for sure. Especially So I want to get into, before we move into, so we talked before, you mentioned how you would do like UX stuff and use that and like apply that knowledge to your marketing. So
yes, and that's very new for me. I would think about it in college, but not really get into it because they try to draw the line of like, here's where marketing is, here's where UX UI is, right. And yes, there's some crossover, but like it's not necessarily a skill. Like you usually would reach out to somebody who that's their niche.
That's what they do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I also, just being an overachiever, wanted to learn it too, so that way I can use UX for marketing. You know. I think we talked about this before, about realizing that there is a lot of crossover. Like it's a Venn diagram, and there's a lot in the middle here. For instance, I just worked on a project for a checkout flow, and like basically the entire flow of how you pay for something. So essentially figuring out how the user experience affects conversion. Right.
People
don't think about that.
I did. When you first did that to me, when we did the first joint, that shit blew my mind, because I'm like, yo,
once you make it
something like that, really matters.
Yeah, once you make something easier for someone, and we know this in our world, but do you think about how it can directly affect your work and how you market things? Right. So you can redesign an entire checkout flow and see your conversions go up because you see a problem in your data, and you see, okay, people are dropping off at about here. People, our bounce rate is high here. You know what I'm saying? And figure out how to solve that problem. We want people to give us their money at the end of the day. So why wouldn't we try to improve the UX, the user experience, to make sure that we are capturing that dollar? So that's essentially what it was. Like, it was looking at what we have for the checkout flow now, and essentially it was 3 to 4 steps. And you would have to press the next button to get to the next step, compared to putting it all on one page in an accordion view.
Flow
exactly. And integrating single sign-on, where if you're logging into your Google account, you could just be like, here we go. Yep. You got most of my information. All I got to do is give you the card, and that might be easy too. If you're on your cell phone, doing like Apple Pay and incorporating that.
Apple Pay,
Listen. For real. And being in those meetings where people, like, UX is like a passion of mine now, that I realize how it can really positively affect my marketing work. But being with people who, again, UX is their thing, oh my gosh. Having those colleagues where you can bounce ideas off of them, and then they kind of, your idea might be a mustard seed, but then they blossom it into something. Woo! Those are the best meetings and touch bases and all kinds of things, when you have a project and you bring up something that is more conversion based, more marketing based, that they're not thinking about, and then they're like, oh, you just dropped the gem right here, and now we're gonna blossom it into something great. Those are the best kinds of experiences and projects, you know?
Now, when we first talked about this, since then I've been kind of like thinking about, like you said, Apple Pay, single sign-on type of stuff. Anything that makes my life easier, I'm way more willing to be like Chick-fil-A, for instance.
Oh my God, don't get me started.
Go through the Chick-fil-A app. They got my rewards. Exactly, my rewards, my favorite meals. Yep. Apple Pay right there.
Yes.
And then the service on top of that, all of that stuff together.
And why would you not want to also incorporate that into your business? Exactly. It don't got to be exact because you're not a big corporation like Chick-fil-A. But thinking about, they gave me an app. Mm-hmm. I hate the fact that I got 1 trillion apps on my phone, but you cannot deny the convenience.
For real.
And just being able to go through the drive-thru. Mm-hmm. Already got the app pulled up. Yeah. I don't even gotta tell you. I don't even gotta say much. Yep. My order is right here. I got a couple rewards points. Let me go ahead and just swipe that so I can get the
sandwich or my
Listen, okay.
No, since we talked about that, I definitely been, because I do a lot of UI work, and
I'm sure
usually when I'm making a web page or something, I'm just doing what I would like. I'm not really thinking about the consumer. So I've had, like, when I was doing freelance work specifically, people like, I was working with this one order client, and he was complaining because it was like the headers, like the tabs at the top, but it was sub tabs. So like you would click it, it would drop down. He's like, I can't see the other. He was saying
he couldn't see the sub tabs.
Yeah, he was saying that other people couldn't find it, like all the older people. And I'm like, bro, click the drop down. It's going to show the other tabs.
But is there a way to hover and
that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that is what I had to start thinking about.
It's those little small details. And just making it easier for everybody, because they may not necessarily see everything the way that we see it.
Exactly. Especially as a developer, I see stuff as a developer.
It's like, it's simple. Just click it. It's not that hard. But
from the UX perspective, you looking at how like a user would literally experience and use this, and I have to like kind of switch that mindset sometimes. So I love that.
Or get a consultant or something that can look at your before you submit your work to. I mean, I don't know when you're gonna get back to freelancing.
I'm probably not.
It's probably not gonna happen. If you decide ever have somebody on your team, just do a QA of your work. Like just looking over and just seeing things that you don't see, because of course you're like, oh, this is good because you develop it, so it's already wired in your brain.
You to do it. I see some bread. I'm like, well, actually, Marquise, I think you should put the button over here.
Listen, and I'm gonna be like, all right, I would love it.
All right, but all right, so that's a good little segue. So you went to school for marketing, right?
Yes. So I actually started school in pre-med though.
Oh, really? All right, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But I want to know, where did that the spark to kind of want to look into the UX and apply that to your marketing? Where did that come from? And what got you interested in marketing?
It definitely came from college, and again, also being an overachiever, where it's like, here's what I'm learning in class, but I want to teach myself some other things, like going on YouTube, like talking, like listening to seminars and things like that, like the applied knowledge where I'm going to work and doing different things, and then hearing things from consumers like, oh, this would be so much easier if this. If that, that is etch-a-sketch in my head, burn into my brain, and I'm like, okay, but we got to find a way to do this, because this is what the person whose money we're trying to get is saying that would be better for them.
Exactly.
But when you think about it in all ways. Like, again, when I started in bridal, we would talk about, it was bridal gown sales. And it would be like, okay, well, what are the brides saying that they want? Like, when they leave here and they didn't buy a dress, what are they saying that they want? It's like, okay, take that and try to find it. Take that and try to put it in the store. It's all the same thing. Figure out what things would make it easier. Like, when I first started working there, we would fill out like client cards on paper. Why are we using paper? It's the 21st century. We should have something that's electronic and it goes right into the computer so we don't have to transfer it over.
Yeah.
Makes everybody's life easier.
Yeah. Less human error, all that.
Exactly. And if there is a human error, it wasn't us, it was y'all. But definitely just trying to always just be better at what I do. It's just, I'm always sitting in that headspace and figuring out, I really don't even remember when I decided, okay, I need to learn more about UX. But when I got
that's what I'm curious about, like, specifically.
I cannot remember, but I recently got my certification at the end of last year.
Oh, wow.
But as far as the interest and that spark, I'm not really certain. I think maybe I was, you know what it might have been? Looking for jobs and seeing that was a requirement and saying, okay, well, if y'all want if I want this higher salary, let me go get this here certification and realize, and I think that's what sparked it.
So it was marketing jobs that had UX certs on there? Oh, snap.
UX certs or just UX experience. And then I'm like, okay, open up a new tab. Let's see what this means. And that's probably what it was. Just trying to really catapult my career. Because this is a blessing and a curse, but I'm like almost never satisfied.
I can relate to that.
Never satisfied. I'm like, okay, well, how do we get, like right now?
Yeah.
I hope nobody at my job seen this. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how I've just been in this position for 8 months. But we're gonna blink and it's gonna be 2 years, and I'm trying to figure out how I could be like associate VP somewhere. I'm never satisfied. It drives me nuts. But it also is, this is something one of my girlfriends just told me the other day, like being a therapist, even though she's not, saying that's a God-given talent though. Always wanting to achieve and do better. Because for me, one of the things that I'm really trying to have a pillar in my life right now, and I put it on my vision board and everything, is like impact. Like where my impact on the world, where can I make it greater? Where can I make it bigger? I really feel like I'm doing that in my current position, just because I'm no longer in like a small, like even when I was working in healthcare, it was it wasn't patient facing. Again, it was to physicians. I don't feel like I was affecting people, but like not as much as I wanted to. Again, like never satisfied ever. It's really a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you really do have to be like, okay, but let's just be quiet for a second and like appreciate where you are, because there was a time where you were begging for this
to get to this spot.
Exactly. But so you know, again, it's a blessing and a curse, but I think that's probably what sparked it for me. Seeing it mentioned in like a job description and seeing it frequently. Not just in 1 or 2 spots, and doing research and then then going down a rabbit hole, watching videos and like, okay, well, let's put this on the list of things to do for next year. Go get that certification so you can market yourself in a certain way, and let people know how much of an asset you are even more. Yeah. So.
No, that's tough, because I like hearing you say it sounds so obvious, but like before that you don't put the connection together between like any type of UX, whether it's on the TV, an ad popping up, like any UX, where certain stuff.
Make sure that ad is not taking over somebody's entire screen and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never would have thought about that until like we talked about this.
But then even another thing, like when you have a product team, who is a bunch of filled with a bunch of UX people, and they're just thinking about the next cool thing. You know, how the product can be cool, how we can get excitement behind it, but not thinking about the business stuff. And that's where I come in, you know.
So you need that balance.
You do. You do. Because you got to sometimes, all the time, not even sometimes. And this was so funny because because of my certification, I was immediately pulled in on some projects because my boss, who is at director level, she doesn't have UX experience. She just relies on the people who are UX people. Who does it, right? And again, that's the reason why I wanted to get that certification, because it just makes me an asset. You know, I have skills that other people even above me don't have. You know, So essentially, again, their brain is on, I want the cool new thing, and I had a hand in it, right? But they're not often thinking about business policies, revenue, revenue goals. How does this affect revenue? You know, there are the first design that they came up with, and the first wireframe that they came up with for this one-page checkout, there was so many changes. We probably did 5, 6, 7 rounds of changes, because it's like, hey, this is important. We need to have, we know about certain laws that are coming up. For instance, I think there's maybe 9 states where if you're signing up for a subscription of any kind next year, they're going to have a law where you have to have a checkbox for cancellation. It's not everywhere. It's only 9 states. They not think about that. You see what I'm saying? And we would rather not have to go through a whole big lift round of changing this checkout flow.
Right.
We might as well do it now. Even though it's not till next year, we might as well do it now, you know, and figure out, you know, be 10 steps ahead. So, yeah, you got to collaborate.
That's crazy.
You got to collaborate with your with people that are in your organization who are doing other things, because there are things that you need to remind them. There are things that they need to remind you.
Yeah. No, I love that perspective, because, like I said, from the dev perspective, we just think about, oh, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
This is going to be cool.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun to code. But, like,
and I know that.
You don't think about, like, the policy stuff and all that. Like, that's more important, if anything. So,
yeah, because like, if we have to talk once a week for me to remind you that, that's fine. But I want it to be less work for you as a developer. You know what I'm saying? Right. I want you to do that and have those policies in mind in one swoop. You know, I don't want you to do it and then it's like,
later
well,
down the line, yeah. No,
exactly.
that would be more annoying.
Exactly. It's like, well, damn, I gotta rebuild this whole thing, right. Scratch the whole code, start over. Yeah, no.
No, that's tough. All right, so you mentioned that marketing wasn't your original plan. So
yes.
You said pre-med. Like,
yes.
What went into that decision?
I was gonna be a doctor. You couldn't tell me I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, having a science background, you know, we went to Science Leadership Academy. Yeah. The reason why I wanted to go to that school is because it had science in the name. We had science policies, even though people always thought that, oh, y'all got your lab coats and y'all do science every day, even though that was not the case.
Right.
What it was for all the people out there, we had scientific methods to apply to everything, which I loved.
Yeah, me too.
So I was very into science, even in middle school. I even had my science teacher nominate me for programs and all kinds of stuff. So science was my thing. And I was like, well, what's the top scientists out there? A doctor. You can't mess with a doctor, you know? I wanted to be a surgeon, more specifically. But scientists who actually do science every day, they got to do math a lot. And it's not my thing. You know, strategy. That's my thing. Not numbers. I will pull a calculator out quick. Okay?
Sure, me too.
And funny thing is, people who are into numbers, they do, but they can do it in their head too. And then they just pull the calculator out to check their work. That's not me.
That's me.
I pull a calculator out from the beginning to the end. I do the calculation backwards to make sure it's right, but that's it. I'm calculator. Phone, the graphing calculator, I will pull it out.
So how early did you decide, like, so I'm assuming 12th grade you wanted to be, you went in pre-med. When, like sophomore year, junior, when did you make that change?
I went like 2 semesters.
2? Oh,
so sophomore year. Very early.
Yeah.
Very early. I was like, this is costing a lot of money. This is costing, you want me to do calculus?
Yeah, I almost didn't do computer science. I had to call my dad. He like, it's just math. Like, just, you know, get it over. I ended up with a math.
And Dad, I would have cried. Don't tell me it's just math. You know that's not my thing. I would have cried. Like, Dad, please.
No,
what do you mean it's just math?
Though, but it ended up not being that bad.
Yeah.
But
that's because you like it, though.
That's true.
It's not difficult for you. Oh, it's difficult for me. Oh, my gosh.
So what was that, making that decision like? Like, was it a tough thing, or was it like the frustration was there, so you just said?
Oh my gosh, the frustration was definitely there. You're a kid still, for real. Yeah. Even to today, I'm still out there at 29. I'm like, you still a kid, you know. Sometimes it's just a grown kid.
Right.
But you know, you bringing up some stuff. It was. I mean, I'm trying. No, it's okay. Deep, yeah, you are. It was very tough. It's still tough. Even talking to my mom about it today. We get into it.
Oh, was she disappointed?
Not disappointed. She told me, and this is why on the last recording, and I'll say it again today. When you go into college, do not put down a major on that paper. So you know keep it up here. Okay? Don't put no major down on that paper because them counselors going to try to steer you to them courses that are higher in cost from the beginning. When you should be going in the first 2.5 years, getting all your major credits. Get your gen eds. Yeah. Don't put no major because they're going to try to slap you with the highest possible biochem from the beginning. And that's money. And once you take it and get a D in it, you still gotta pay for it.
Right. Or you know if you fail, you still gotta pay for it.
Hello, you still gotta pay for it. Right. That's why the counselors, and they have it set up that way. You gotta remember that college is a business at the end of the day.
And so see, that's the marketing.
I will say it.
That's the marketing mindset, though. Yes. You see what they going for.
I know it now.
Right.
Again, when my child gets here and it's time to do this, oh my gosh, I should have I should have listened to you because my mom is a healthcare executive, but she went to school for political science.
Oh wow! That's
you see what I'm saying?
Different. Yeah, I mean,
like two different lanes, two totally different lanes. But again, like executive level in healthcare, making coins, political science.
That's crazy.
Graduated with a political science degree, and went like. Almost immediately into healthcare. Like she had little one-off jobs and then went into healthcare. And it's so funny that like majority of my family is in healthcare. But almost immediately went into healthcare. So it's not like it stifled her in any way. So don't put that major on that paper. I'm telling you. Don't wait until they actually require you to give one. Wait until then, I'm telling you. And then not just pick anything, because of course pick something that you're going to be interested in. Right. But don't do it.
So you put down pre-med
from the beginning.
And then so where did you decide, like, all right, instead of this, I'm gonna go into marketing? Because that's a pretty big pivot. Yeah. So like what went into that?
College gave me, showed me who I was a little bit more and where I knew I had general skills, but it showed me which skills, once I polish them up, that's a monster right there. Yeah. And that's essentially what it was.
You feel like you got that from the gen eds? Like trying different stuff? Or?
That's a great question. Maybe. Like communications and those kind of gen eds. Yeah. I think I took a public speaking class, which I did not need at all. It was A with flying colors. But those kinds of things really shaped it for me. I think I also had like a general business course or something too. Just taking anything.
But it helps you realize what you like, though.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. It really did. And figuring out, your strengths at a certain level, but like, where can we excel? Right. And I think that's the kind of thing that really did it for me. I knew if I went into business and business school, I knew it wasn't finance, because then we back at numbers, right. And that's not my thing. Excel sheets and stuff, they still drive me crazy. But then we started talking marketing. I was like, hold on now.
What's this right here?
I like this. So yeah, I also knew that, maybe I didn't know it exactly, but like, I knew I had a strategy mind. How am I I want something, how am I going to get to it? What are the steps? We got plan A, plan B, plan C, right. Flow chart. I don't know if I could put a camera inside my brain, that's what I feel like my brain
It would be a flow chart.
Flow charts and stuff. Bunch of tags.
Yeah.
But because that's the way that I break things down.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's like, okay, it's an end goal here, and what work backwards or work forwards, or fill in what I know already, and then do some research and then fill in those gaps. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, and then also taking a business course, putting that together, I was like, well, we hitting gold right here. I wish I never put that damn pre-med down. I tell you that, I would probably be done paying for school.
I mean, either way though, you caught it pretty early. I would say,
I did.
You could have did what your mom did, graduated with a completely different degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I caught it earlier. I'm glad I didn't like go into calculus and oh my god, I would have been devastated. Yeah. I probably would have left. Probably not. I don't give up ever. But I probably would have been like, okay, well, I'm going to take a year off of school but I never did that. And that's the other part that kept me going. Like, we don't give up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody does.
But I mean, I think it's important though, and the main takeaway from that is like realizing what's not for you,
and doing something about it immediately.
Exactly, and like being open to those other opportunities and like what it could be.
I gotta figure it out. And I pride myself in that, and that's also just I gotta give that to my mom too. We figure shit out. My mom said she was gonna put it on a T-shirt that we figure shit out, and she was gonna write a book called "Getting It Shit Done" because that's what we do. Yeah, but it's just knowing that about yourself, really pulling into yourself and saying, okay, what am I good at? Yeah. And it may just be surface level, but it'll help,
What can you go like dig deeper into? Right?
Yeah.
No, I love that. So, all right, speaking of school, where did you go? And all right, two parts. Where did you go? And then you mentioned how you after you got into like the UX stuff, you got your certs and everything. So where did you go to learn and like for knowledge now, for that type of stuff? So both of those.
So I went to community college first, just to save some money. I went to Delaware County Community College and then transferred those credits over to Temple University. So I got baby steps. So I did catch it early, but I can't really say it was like immediate because I did take chemistry courses and things at community.
Delco? Okay.
So that was that, and those were fine. But then when they said I had to take calculus, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Cause when you get to Temple and regular universities, that's where the big dogs play, and they not about to say you can keep pushing off this here calculus. You gonna have to do it, or you have to switch this major. Yeah. So yes, graduated from Temple. The good part about Temple is I was able to take courses at both the what am I trying to say? The media school, like the Klein College for media and communications, and also take courses at Fox School of Business and put them together to get my degree. So that's probably an advantage too. Being able, oh my God, even today, I'm sure you see this too. Communication is terrible. People don't have the skill.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm working on it too myself.
Like sometimes I feel like for instance, I have I'm working with our marketing operations team all the time, and I just feel like it's a character trait. I have to spell the things out. I have to bullet point, put links behind the bullet. Oh my God, it's terrible. But you got to do what you got to do to get things done. Like the way that we have to submit tickets to our operations team is we have to link a full overview. The overview might be 14 pages. And you link the overview. Did they open the overview?
Probably not.
Didn't open the overview once.
I'm probably not opening that. I ain't gonna hold you. Give me the spark note, saying.
Oh my goodness. It's hilarious. But that's the thing. Like it's just, you might even say, the things that you need are on page 6 of the overview. Did you open the overview? No, you didn't. But it is what it is. What you gonna do? But yeah, I think that's a benefit that I had, having the communication background, and also having the business side. And that's another thing that really, really sparked a fire in me. Just the strategy of business. Oh my gosh, and having those not just surface level business courses, but I think I had like a business law course. And I had like a college just went away in my brain. I had all types of different levels of business courses that really I was like A's out the wazoo. Like, you know, and even when I felt like I couldn't do some of those other things, the thing that I knew I was here to do, I was passing.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm good. Essentially, a little bit, because they still want to see them A's elsewhere. But yeah, so, and then as far as the UX stuff, again, I think I'm telling you the truth when I say that when I was looking at it, because I studied job descriptions like crazy to figure out what people want, what organizations want, what keywords to pull out to try to, you know, again, that's marketing too, because you got to market yourself to the organization.
Sure, definitely.
So I do that, like, again, I'm doing it now, figuring out how I'm going to be associate VP somewhere. And figuring out what they need. What kind of things do I need to exude today to be that in a year and a half?
Right.
You know, figure it out now. Plant the seeds now. Which again, a blessing and a curse. Because why can't you just be okay with where you're at right now? Just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Oh my God, it's crazy. But I think that's what sparked it. And then I was like, well, how am I going to do a course that ain't gonna cost me an arm and a leg? Because there's courses out there, and you might pay $2,500, or you might sign up on LinkedIn and pay $50 and then cancel it after you're done. Because that's what I did. I probably had LinkedIn Premium probably 3-4 times.
No, that's smart though. That's really smart.
I looked it up. I said, okay, what's the stipulations? All I gotta do is have LinkedIn Premium. Okay. How am I going to take as many courses and get the certifications as possible in this little short window of the intro period, and then cancel it? Set a reminder on my phone to make sure I cancel it. But that's definitely what I did. And I got that, and I got a at the end of last year, I think it was. I got that, and I got an SEO certification too. So,
oh really?
Because I knew some SEO through LinkedIn. Yeah. Because I knew some SEO stuff, but I knew like from here. Maybe I am really motivated by money. I really am. It's again a blessing and a curse, but it is what it is. Capitalism. I didn't do this. Y'all did it.
That's what I'm saying. We live in this genre. Exactly. You gotta play the game. So.
Because that's how I feel. I feel like once I get to a certain income level, I'm be like, all right, I can settle down now. I can go be somebody's mom. But until then. Because once I do, no, seriously, but once I do that, once I become a parent, I'm be like, all right, I'm good right here. If I get another job in a higher level, fine, but I won't be climbing no more corporate ladder. I got this child I got to feed. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't want to be an absent parent that's trying to climb the corporate ladder. I want to be involved. I'm going to soccer games. You know, I'm showing up for parent teacher. We doing something at the school and back to school night, I'm there, you know. So that's the type of mom that I plan to be. So we're going to keep climbing this corporate ladder until it's time to stop. And I'm going to be at a very high, comfortable level.
All right, yeah, I can't
300,000.
We're going to get into your
400,000 on a salary.
When you see yourself going and everything, I'm excited for that. But yeah, I haven't heard anybody mention LinkedIn. Everybody mentioned YouTube, obviously. But LinkedIn got some good courses on there for sure. Yeah,
I think I also wanted to have something to show for it, you know?
Yeah, like that actual
on LinkedIn, stamp me, please.
Yeah. And you see on your profile, all that, so.
I needed that. So I didn't want to just be able to say, well, I have this experience. No, check the credentials, okay? You can see I'm stamped. And again, I think that gave my boss the confidence to just I got thrown in, but I was comfortable. Yeah. Because they had already when I started again, I started in March, so things had already been starting. We 3 months into the year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Projects had already been starting. That was a big project. I think that launched. I want to say July it launched. So to put in perspective, projects take a long time. I'm sure you know with the development for big projects like that, you changing a whole checkout flow. You know, we had many meetings with designers, developers, project managers. It's a big meeting. You know, a lot of our developers are in a whole nother country. You know, so we got some that are here.
Different time zones and
different
stuff.
time zones. Right. It's like, okay, well, we're going to have this meeting at 8. I'm like,
yeah, it'd be like that.
Golly, all right.
Because for them, it's probably like 6 p.m.
Exactly.
So,
just a little bit over when they usually done their work day. But yeah, so that was that, and then we tested it, and then I think August it was launched to everybody. So that took up all the time I've been there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about the project so much, because it was just a really nice thing to see from beginning to end. So yeah.
I mean, you got yourself ready for that. So I want to get into, and yours is a little different. Usually, what I ask people is like, in this, white male, Asian male dominated field, but yours is a little bit different because you on the marketing side of it.
Yeah. Well, I can say our consumer marketing team is pretty balanced. I think that my organization is doing a good job of that objective. They definitely, like, we have quarterly meetings and they're like, okay, where are we with the people? Like, they say these numbers. I don't even know I'm supposed to be talking about this. We have I don't want to say quotas to fill, but it's like, because we are a newspaper publication, it's like we have to have the representation.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's how I can say it.
Okay. I mean,
and not be giving too much away, because we start those meetings where it's like everything here stays here, and I just realized I was giving up some stuff.
No, I can. If you need something cut out, I can cut it out.
No, it's cool. But yeah, it's like my senior vice president, who is right above my director. She was hired and brought in to redo the entire marketing team. And that was semi-recent. I think maybe 2 years ago. And we have, there's a few men. There's only 3 black people though. I will say that. Okay. There's 1 black guy, there's 1 other black woman, and then there's me. So I will say that is small a little bit. But there are a lot of white people. But I guess it's pretty balanced. Like, my senior vice president is from the Ukraine. So yes, she's a white woman, but like not really. Like, yes, but no. She's not just like, she's not American. So she has a whole different perspective. She's only been in America for a few years. Not a few. I want to say like she might have just hit 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Looking at the directors, so we have 2 white women directors, and then 1 is from Latin descent. So it's balanced, you know. But there are still a lot of, like you said, white men. And how do I navigate that? I'm at an advantage because I was born as an only child and by a very young mother. My mom had me at 20, and she was like, "You're not gonna be soft-spoken. We're not doing that." So
you're able to speak up for yourself and make sure.
Almost too much.
Right, I got you.
Almost too much. Sometimes I do need to dial it back. Like it worked the other day. We had an executive review of something else. It was also not checkout, but it was like a landing page that we were redesigning, also to try to see how it affects conversions. My boss says she sends me a Slack message. Before we get into this, it's a reminder, it's an executive review. So yes, of course, you don't have to stifle your voice, but this is for the executives to speak. Who's speaking? Me! I got all the things to say. But I will say that my senior vice president did call on me. But when she did that, I was, you could just call on me once. But right. Yeah,
that's an interesting point though. So you are outspoken. I know that from high school and everything. Yes. So
I've been that way for a long time.
As a woman like that, do you feel like you kind of gotta Because you don't want to be the loud black woman, but then you don't want to be the timid, scared to speak up for yourself. So, like, where do you find that middle ground to...
I still haven't found it. It's definitely a struggle. I'm probably more on the loud black woman's side. Probably. And I'm okay with that.
I mean...
Because I would rather not have someone walk all over me.
Right. I mean, closed mouths don't get fed. So
okay. I would rather not have someone walk all over me. I would rather not have somebody think that they can play with me.
Yeah.
I would rather people know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want anybody to ever think that, because I've heard these kind of conversations before, not even with black women though. Even with, white women, Latin women, where it's like you sit in that meeting and it's people who don't necessarily know you, but you're sitting in that meeting and you're quiet the entire time. And people have commentary about it. Yeah. I mean, even if I say one or two words, I want you to hear me speak fluently. I want you to hear me speak clearly. And I might have a joke or two, but don't play with me. That's what I need you to know when I open my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm talking about. I have applied a lot of it. I'm still learning. Let's make that clear too. But I definitely know what I'm talking about. We can collab. Yeah. Because I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you might teach me something and I might teach you something, So yeah, I think you can't,
having that balance is good. I mean, I was super quiet in school and everything. Over the years, through like doing music and stuff like that, I come out of my shell way more. So now at work, I'm the first person to speak out. Believe it or not, like I'm the one speaking my mind a lot, giving my opinion a lot. If somebody, you on those awkward teams meetings where somebody say something and nobody's saying anything.
Oh my god! I'll be the one to
say something. So like,
even when a meeting is supposed to end,
right?
And it's like, all right, everybody, have a good day. Like, come on, close this up so we can get to work, please.
But oh my goodness! I feel like sometimes people aren't speaking enough. Yeah. So I feel like being comfortable enough in knowing what you're talking about, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that definitely helps with the confidence of speaking up for yourself and everything. Yeah,
because that again, like knowledge is something nobody can take from you, and if you know it, you speak up about it, and if you don't know it, that's okay too. That's another thing to say. You know what? Let me look into that a little bit further. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to misspeak.
Right.
It's really that simple.
No, it's a lot of power in being able to be like, I don't know.
You know how much people can respect you? Right. If you just say, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you with that. Oh my God, so much power.
Yeah, I was telling like the I'm a dev too, so I was telling like the devs, like it's like their first job and stuff like that. I'm like, don't be scared to ask questions, because the last thing you want is to be like, oh yeah, I understand the story, I'm gonna go work on it. You don't know what the fuck going on. And now they like, all right, this ticket should have been done 2 days ago, whatever. Yeah. Well, I had a question about da-da-da. It's like,
well, then why did you say the question?
Exactly. So stuff like that I feel like is really important. But, as black people, more specifically as a black woman, you do got to kind of find that balance between, and I can't imagine that pressure. That has to be a lot. Like,
and I guess this wasn't conscious, but I guess I was like, well, I would rather be heard than not heard. So if it gotta be loud, it gotta be loud. Yeah, no, I feel like that's where that's.
If it's one or the other, you gotta go with speaking out and speaking out for yourself. Because like you said, people will walk over you. Opportunities will pass you. Woo! If you're not
and that for yourself. Is my biggest fear. Again, I told you I'm motivated by money. Yeah. Opportunity come past me. Yeah. And I'm stuck in where I just was. Right. Absolutely not. Right. Absolutely not. If I hear opportunity, guess what? I'm like AJ Brown. I'm catching it.
Let me get there. You said you need to what? All right, I got you. Like, as long as you're not like overextending yourself, burning out or nothing like that. Exactly. Like, yeah, I love that.
You can't. I would much rather, and I think again, I want to show my mom this because she don't think I appreciate her, and I just need her to know that I do.
Shout out to the moms out
for
there.
Sure.
We love y'all.
I think I'm the only child, and very young, like 7 years old. She was like, all right, well, you gonna learn how to return stuff to the store.
Oh, snap.
7. Okay, 6 and 7 years old. Exactly. She here's the receipt. Here's the thing to be returning. Go in there. I'll sit in the car. And while that's scary as hell, it taught me how to speak up for myself. Yeah. Like, I even tried to return something today. It was crazy. The product was damaged. It was a mess. And the guy at the front was like, so I can only give you a store credit. I just bought this 2 hours ago. And you see the product is a mess. I can't use this. And you gonna give me a store credit?
Right.
Get somebody else that can give me my money. You see what I'm saying? But I even thought about that in that moment where somebody else might be like, okay, well, I guess if that's all you exactly. If that's all you can do, then okay, absolutely not. Go get the manager. You've got to get the manager, and that's exactly what he did. I will knock all this shit over.
I love it. Like, I feel like it's important to what's the word? Advocate for yourself.
Yes.
So speaking on that type of stuff, what adversity or obstacles have you had to overcome? Because it seems like, for one, like when it came to school,
school is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
So do you want to expand on that, or do you want to talk about like a different obstacle?
I can go back to just seriously stick to your guns, go to college, get what you need out of college. Don't put that major on that. I'm so serious. Like, it makes a huge difference. The courses that are gen eds cost less. Get those. You don't want to go in there and make a mistake and you got to pay for it.
Right.
You don't want to be $200,000 in debt because you made a mistake putting a major on the paper. I did it. I'm still paying for pre-med classes.
So do you feel like that's one of your biggest obstacles back then?
I mean, it is currently what it is. I'm glad that I'm earning enough to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't give up on school even though it was hard and say, well, I'm not going to do this. Imagine that.
And then still owing it, right?
Imagine owing for pre-med classes
that you
and said this shit was too hard.
Yeah.
And then you dropped out of school and now you working at wherever. And now let's say you only did 2 years. So what's that?
I mean, depending on where you're at, that's what I'm going to say.
30,000, 40,000 hours?
Yeah, easily.
Easy.
So,
and now I work at ShopRite.
Right.
No shade to ShopRite.
No shade, but like, you know what I'm saying? That's a big difference.
Huge.
So.
And I'm making something hourly. And I cannot afford to pay this back.
Right.
So that's where I sit now in my brain, where it's like, I'm not going to beat because I used to beat myself up. Because I had to hear about it from my mom. I told you to go in there and just do your gen eds, but you don't listen. That's what she said. And I could fight her then, but when I think about it now, if I could do it over again, I would do exactly that.
Right.
I would do exactly that. And that's what I tell anybody who is going to college. Just go in there. You have it in your brain that you want to do whatever. Fine. Just keep it up here. And even if it shifts, guess what? It's okay because it's safe up here.
Right, exactly.
So it's totally okay. Don't put that on that paper because it's almost like it's locked in. Like, it's not. You can switch your major, and they try to tell you that, oh, it's okay, you can switch your major. Guidance counselors all the time.
They
you can switch your major.
Because they don't care if you're there for 6 years, 7 years. They don't care. Like you said, it's a
business.
Right.
Exactly. It's just, you just giving them all your money. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, no. No. So that is probably my biggest adversity that I've gone through. But I'm so happy that I landed where I am. And I can't wait to have, I dream about the type of positions that I'll have, and then retiring and talking to people across the world about it and writing books and all kinds of stuff. That's the kind of thing that contributes to that impact value within me that I really want. Where it's really just telling people, I want people to learn from my mistakes, and not have to go through them, and really just, do whatever you need. Hear my story, and I'm not saying take the same path, but at least
just
you
take
hearing
heed to the
exactly.
And that's why I love being able to do this thing here, because you see so many different paths that people took to get to similar goals or whatever. But yeah, like you said, like, you gotta find your own path. Yep. But take heed to what other people have gone through.
It's so wise to learn from other people's mistakes. So wise.
Exactly.
So I would definitely say that is the biggest adversity toward my career, but it is what it is, and I'm just moving forward. I'm glad that I caught it when I did.
Right. No,
I'm glad that I am where I am now.
Exactly.
That's it. You gotta say grateful statements, So
speaking about retirement and stuff, where you see yourself going? Where do you see yourself going 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? And then something I've recently been asking is like, what does retirement look like for you? So we're gonna go like 5, 10.
Okay.
And we're gonna get into
5 years. Say 34. I plan on still being in marketing for sure. But that 5 years sounds like maybe 2-3 positions. I know I'm not supposed to put a time limit on it, but
in the same company.
No. Within 5 years, whether it's within the same company or not, it's a position change. That's the growth pattern that I'm trying to project. So that means being up somewhere high, and having that impact, and having a team that's large, having a team that's 20 people, having a team that's 30 people. And running marketing for a company. I think I seen something on a podcast on Instagram where this guy is an entrepreneur, and he was talking about his wife's experience, and he was saying to his wife, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I feel like you should be an entrepreneur too. And she immediately said, no, I'm good. I want to help the entrepreneur.
Right.
I want to be the brains behind what the entrepreneur is doing. I want to be the strategist. Like, everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I need everybody to know that.
Everybody can't.
We need plumbers. We need everybody can't be their own, have their own business. Because we need we need employees. How you gonna have your own business without employees?
Exactly. Right.
So I think that is something that I heard, and I was like, oh, his wife is me. Because she said, I want to be that person that the entrepreneur goes to need a word to the wise and need a strategy, and you can just not dump on me, but tell me what kind of things you want to do, and I can come up with that plan. Because again, that's just how my brain works. My friends come to me, family come to me, and they're just, I just think that I want to do this or this, and my brain goes and get to going, and then I get the phone and the computer. Oh, it's over with. I don't know already came up with a plan for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is a strength of mine, and I think I want to use that more. That's just a natural thing that I have.
So would that be more like consultant, or you think you see yourself with your own marketing business?
See, that's where it gets dicey, because that means I'm an entrepreneur now.
I mean,
I think consulting might be a good thing, but I think I still would be okay with working for a corporation. Even if I'm the chief marketing officer.
Right.
I don't mind that, because that means you talk to people, write articles about you. And like right now, we just my organization just did a brand campaign. And they talking to our CEO all the time. And she honestly is repeating a lot of the things that my senior vice president has said. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't mind that being me, because I never seen my senior vice president's check, but I know it's heavy.
Yeah.
I know it's heavy, because think about it. Again, they got her from another publication in another state. And hire her and said, come here, we know you got the marketing background, build your team. That's what they said. So yeah.
So that would be like what, 10 years, you think? Or
somewhere between 5 and 10. I'm just very ambitious, and my dreams scare me sometimes.
No, they should.
Yeah, so I don't really know as far as time frame, but definitely that's where I see. That's the projection for me. And then, like you said, asking about retirement looks like I still got to use my brain, because I would probably go crazy if I don't. But just figuring out how I can touch more people. Go into a hotel and get in their conference room and filling it with people and having seminars and all kinds of things like that. I see that for myself. speaking engagements and consulting there. Like, if you want to bring me into your organization to have hour and a half talk with your team, I would love to do that.
So it seems like impact and like making a difference within your realm is very big for you.
Huge. I think that there's so much inside me that is contained all the time, but sometimes not. And that's why I have this loud mouth that I have, because it just jumps out sometimes. But my brain is always moving. Again, a blessing and curse is so hard to turn it off.
I feel you.
But I think just using that for good is what I want to and need to do. Like, I feel like that's my calling. So yeah,
we're gonna check back. We're gonna see how this is going.
Yes.
And I was joking. I be joking a lot, but when it comes to like marketing and stuff, I'm probably gonna see what's up. Cause like, it definitely be like little stuff, like little tidbits. And like you said, you always got an idea for stuff. So there has been times where you was running me through like certain ideas and stuff. So now we definitely gonna have a nice little collaborative relationship when it comes to like how our skill sets can, mesh a little bit. But I love that. I love like hearing, I say this like a lot, but like obtainable, but like big dreams. Because it's not crazy to think that you can, with your ambition, your drive, your hunger to learn, it's not crazy to think that you could be the chief marketing officer.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna stop talking about this lady, but my mom
No, don't stop talking
made it seem attainable to me, because once I heard she got chief in front of her name, I said, well, hold on now. That's the first person I think in our family that has had that high of a title. And she's right next to me. We got the same face a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like some of my family members, and this is no shade to them, I love them down, but they have gotten comfortable where they are.
Complacency.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm not moving from my house. I love this house. I work hard for this house. You had that house for a quadrillion years. Okay? You don't want a bigger house. You don't want more yard. You don't want none of that. Same job and I'm 29. Since I've known you, you've had the same job.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to do, and that's one thing that I love about us millennials. Oh, if we don't like something, we gonna get the hell up out there. If it's not enough money, if they starting to add more things that's outside of your, like you can add 1 or 2 things that's outside of our, job description. But once you start piling them things up, I got to get the going and figuring out where else I can go, because some other company is gonna appreciate me. So yeah, just figuring it out and seeing her progress. I remember where she was working in healthcare in law, like the law department, and answering phones and filing papers away. I was alive for that. And now where she is, what?
I think that's
how can I ever do small?
Right.
When that's my example.
The importance of having that representation or like that exposure to those types of things. Yeah. Like seeing my dad run his own business, work with computers and stuff like that. Seeing your mom become chief, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that is going to leave a bigger impression on you than anything else. Than anybody coming to your school like,
and
you could do this, you could be this thing. It's like, all right, cool. But seeing your parent do that, or your family, like somebody is way different.
It's totally different. And also, now that I think about it, my mom, she stayed in healthcare, obviously. She's been in healthcare for a while. But she pivoted so she is a chief compliance officer. So policies, obviously healthcare comes HIPAA and everything. Implementing policies, making sure people are following policies properly, reminding people of the policies, all of that is her lane. She got into that at first by getting a mentor, getting a certification, and then talking to people and figuring out how she was doing an externship. What grown, that sounds like some college stuff, right? What grown person is doing an externship? She would go to work, do her regular job, and then spend 2 hours after work doing the externship with someone that she found on LinkedIn who was her position today.
Yeah.
How could I do anything small?
Right.
I could never do small.
Yeah.
At all. How can my dreams be small?
No, not when you got examples like that.
What? And she's the first one. Like my grandma, she did her thing. She retired. She was nurse and nurse assistant and everything. But my mom was the first person who went to college and graduated. And then skyrocketed from there. So I'd be embarrassed to do small, okay?
we definitely going to check back and see how that's going.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start wrapping up. Lately, I've been, like, combining these last two things. So what tips do you have for somebody? And then, like, we'll get into, like, your final words or, you know, your parting words. But you mentioned the college stuff. Do you want to expand on that? Or do you
know that's my first one.
give...
My first one, any college student who is in college right now, about to go to college, don't put that major on that paper. I'm telling you, until they say it's required, you cannot continue until you do it. Don't do it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is do your research. Shake people's hands. Don't be afraid to shake people's hands. Because once you start shaking people's hands and they know what you do, they might pull you in on a project that you could never have imagined that you would be on.
The networking is crazy.
Huge. And it's not, I know it sounds hard. It's not. Honestly, sometimes you just you ask people how their weekend was, and that's how it starts.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? How was your weekend? You know,
introduction to yourself. You know, it can start with just, you know, what's your name? I see you around, something like that. So
simple
easy.
as that. It's so easy. It's not as hard as people think it is. You really can just develop friendships and colleagues that know that they can call on you or reach out to you for a question. What is marketing doing about this or that? And what's coming down the pipe for marketing about this or that? I have, like I said, the product people, the UX people reach out to me all the time, but they don't reach out to nobody else. I just got here.
That's crazy.
And I've had experiences where I've had external conversations with people who have come in to like consult and stuff like that, and the people are championing me. I just got here. You know what I'm saying? And somebody saying like she has been the best middle person of marketing and UX. Dang. I just got here.
No, that's crazy.
You know, I have to remind.
Out there, like,
who else? Nobody else can do it for you.
Right.
Nobody
gonna vouch for you the way you gonna vouch.
No one else. Nobody else knows what's in your brain. You might have an idea that you can drop in this person's ear, and now it blossoms to be the biggest thing. Network is not hard. I promise. Make those friends. You don't gotta tell them all your business. You don't gotta go get a drink with them every day after work. But just shake hands and rub shoulders with people who and before you do that, pay attention. Because you don't want to shake hands with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to how people are talking in the large group meetings. And then once you do that, you can figure out who you want to reach out to. Right. You know, you can figure out who is best to talk to, who is more like you, who is a little bit more playful and not as serious all the time. Definitely. Because you don't want it to backfire. Right. And not that there's a huge risk of backfiring. It's more so you just want to play your cards right. So those are the two things. My biggest thing has always been the college thing. Listen, because the college is the foundation. The college is the foundation.
That's going to set that stepping stone for you. And
even if you got to do, I don't know, what's another general like major? Even if you did just general communications, pick an internship of somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pay all that money. College is so expensive. When you look back and see how cheap college was, $5,000 for all 4 years. Right. That is ridiculous. Who said I didn't ask to be here? Because why is everything so high?
Yeah, now it should start like $50K depending where you at. So like
at a public school in the hood.
Right.
Yeah, I went to Temple, yo. In the hood.
But you know, that's great advice though.
Yeah.
My main thing for college be like similar to like the major thing, but like have a plan for the major that you pick. So
write it down.
Right, like where can you work with it? You looking at job descriptions, all that type of stuff. Take all of that into account when you're picking a major. Like what type of job will you actually be working?
Yeah, I think writing it down has been helpful for me. I'm so glad that you just said that because that's another. I guess that's my third thing. Writing it, I got pages and pages of stuff, and you look back on it, and it's like, oh my God, I did that, and oh my God, I had that position,
right?
And you know, and do your research, like write. Oh my God, get an empty notebook and write it down, because I do it so often. I'm so glad you just said that. That's another thing where again researching the like I would say ranking. This might be a new consultant thing that I do right now, is helping people get that next job. Figure out which your job where it's the ladder, like a ladder move, where it's like exactly the exact same position, just somewhere else. That's the first thing. Write that down. Write down the keywords that they have. Put it as a PDF. Highlight the keywords. I do this. I'm obsessed because anything that I do, I want people to, I don't want to say be impressed, but I want you to know that I know my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm never walking in anywhere where I don't know what I'm talking about, ever, because I'm gonna open that door until I do my research, and then I walk through that door.
I like that.
Like for when I prepare for job interviews, like the job that I have now, I had to interview with my senior vice president and then the 3 directors who are a part of our funnel. And you think I didn't print out their LinkedIn and figure out where they went to school and what job they had and how long they worked there and everything?
Right. You prepared,
your research, so that way they can be like they don't feel like they have the upper hand with you anymore, because you can say, oh well, how was when you worked here? Before you came to this organization, you were there for 12 years, weren't you? How was that? What made you want to go to this place? And how could you compare and contrast the 2 organizations? Oh, you fuck them up with that one. Yeah. You do. So whenever you're doing exactly, whenever you're doing anything, do as thorough research as you can.
If you're gonna do it right. That's like the main
definitely the main thing, and almost overdo it, right? You know what I'm saying? So that way nobody can ask you a question where you stuck. Nobody can think that you don't know what you're talking about. You can give it back to them, right? So it's so many levels. You want to be whatever. That's the thing. It's the passion. Whatever your next level is, I want you to be so passionate about it that there's no way you're not going to get it. There's no way you're not going to get it, or anything in that realm, in that circle. There's no way, because you were so obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so obsessed with oh my God, it's a mess. I will drive and look at billboards, and Super Bowl, my favorite day. I'm looking at the commercials. You watch the commercials more than the game. I'm looking at the commercials like, ooh, that was good. Let me write that down. Let me see how I can rework that. Like for instance, who was it? Walmart just did their Black Friday commercial, and they used Mean Girls. And they released it on a Wednesday.
Smart.
It was genius. I just be obsessed. And just write the things down, and write down, here's my letter move, here's if I go one step above, and here's the super dream position. You know what I'm saying? And break them all down. Break them down by organization. This organization needs this and this. Here's the general things that they need. Like, so that way, even if you're getting that one step above, you already got the brain of the highest position.
Damn, that's you talk about advice.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of even doing that, but that prepare for the job that you want after the job that you want. Like, that's
Find the top position, because I will put on music or TV after work and do exactly this. Be on LinkedIn, figuring out who's the top dog in this department. Look at where they went to school, where they interned, how long they've been in certain positions. Because and that's the other thing. Not only is it my mom that makes me know that things are attainable, but looking at other people who are in the same industry,
seeing what they did and stuff. Yeah.
And that's how I learned even that you can. I don't think it's just in marketing, but you can skip over your master's and go right to doctor. If you do that doctoral program, you can do that. I never do that.
Yeah, me neither.
I saw this lady who did a webinar that I joined, and she just did an extra year in her doctoral program, and now she Dr. So-and-so.
Damn.
And now I think she's a vice president somewhere. You wanna, not that you're trying to follow that person's path, but it's putting it in your brain that you can do it.
Yeah. For sure.
And that you can, everything's not linear. You can jump from here to here. Right. If you are obsessed and passionate with what you're doing, maybe you do get offered that vice president position from a manager. It's not every day that it happens, but it could happen to you if you know what you're talking about. Right. You know what I'm saying? If that position opens up, a lot of companies would love to hire within. And if you know your stuff backwards and forwards, why wouldn't they hire you? Right. Why wouldn't they put you in a position? Yeah.
I knew he's gonna come back and spin. If you can't take something away from this joint, then you just not listening, honestly. But I really appreciate you coming back and doing this. It really means a lot. And I'm better at these now, so like
you're doing amazing. I love it.
Like we did that first one, so to come back and do this joint now, it definitely means a lot. I appreciate it. So yeah, we gonna wrap it up here. Did you have anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
No? All right, cool.
I hope somebody took something from
No, if you did, you just literally not paying attention. But yeah, so we gonna wrap it up here. That's been another episode of My Sex Story. That's it. Y'all be safe.
So I'm sticking to the plan. To the plan. Yeah, I'm sticking to the plan. Look, said I'm sticking to the plan. To the plan. Yeah, I'm sticking to the plan.